How to impress women without spending money. Do a barrel roll. Your personality or a talent that you have. Engage in normal conversation instead of trying with everything you say. It comes off as bop boo. Stop trying to impress them. Just be yourself. A balanced conversation skills. Appear clean and tidy. See display good manners, gentlemen, not necessarily just open doors. Be confidence, not arrogant. Hear her out when she's speaking. Be thoughtful, remember details about her, take a genuine interest in her, plan dates, like walks, picnics, game nights, be resourceful, cook her dinner, fix her broken things to a good standard. Fix stuff for them. You think money because women like gift. What they like in gift is the action, not the value of the gift. And you can do that with world, and it is more powerful than anything you can buy them. Have a talent or skill you can show off. Be kind and try to understand her, that's it. What has society become way too dependent on? Instant gratification. Phones. The internet. Predigested information. Seems most people just want to be spooned a position and a neat synopsis of an issue instead of actually investigating themselves and coming to their own conclusions. I couldn't imagine having to print out MapQuest to go on a road trip. Internet. We would crumble without internet. Cell phones. Suddenly it's like an appendage. I'm not sure when it happened, but it happened. Social media. I don't know if it's by design or FOMO, but a lot of people nowadays take what they see on social media to shape a lot of their life and decisions, which I feel is not a good way to about it, especially cars. We have built everything around cars. Electronic devices. Internet. Validation from others. Fossil fuels. Corporations. How do you fart in peace in a hotel room with a lady? Step out for ice or snacks. In emergency situations, there's usually a toilet in the lobby. Fart in a towel. Go grab coffees. No, not the hotel coffee, love, that's rubbish, I'll go get the good stuff. Or, oh rubbish, I left my toothbrush in the car. Or get the shower running ready for a morning wash while she's watching television. I usually ask permission to fart, and then I fart even if she said no. They rarely say no, but those who do, not my type of gal. Just let it rip. You tell her you don't want to do that in front of her and go to a different bathroom in the building. Shit the bed first night. Farts pale in comparison. Thank me later. Closing the door to the bathroom. Learn to time a good cough. I use the powerful commercial toilet at the lobby because I've clogged hotel room toilets too many times. Go to the bathroom and freshen up. What is a red flag to watch out for in a guy who wants a relationship with you? If he gets really upset that your daughter won't use the thong bikini he bought her while on vacation in Brazil for her. When you're the only one towards whom he shows a shred of decency. Constantly talks about himself. If he tries to pull you further away from friends and family. If he's always playing the victim and nothing is ever his fault, be wary. This can be a sign of emotional immaturity and an inability to take responsibility for his actions, which can lead to a one-sided relationship where you're always to blame. If he co-sleeps with his dog that pisses in the bed all the time, that would be a red flag for me. Watch out for a lack of boundaries, especially if he disregards your no or pressures you into situations you're uncomfortable with. Respecting boundaries is fundamental to a healthy relationship. What would you do if your spouse was no longer intimate with you? She needs to talk to a professional, not because she won't fuck you, but because she never recovered from that death. Talk to her about it. If she's still grieving to the point of completely sexually shut down after a year, she needs grief counseling like 8 or 9 months ago. No intimacy is a symptom of something bigger. So I would do something to find out what is going on. Well, firstly, Go seek a psychologist because grief like this needs a lot of. If the above fails, then you guys need to have a discussion about what's going on and what it means to your relationship. One thing to grieve, but entirely another to have it take over everything. It would depend on the reason. If talking together doesn't help, then couples therapy. Who is the richest person you know? This kid who is a trust fund baby. I worked at a horse farm and the mother died. Father isn't in the picture. He gets a year allowance from the trust, and in a few years he will get access to the entire estate. A YouTuber with April 9th. I met a hermit who knew how to fix anything, grow everything, and lived in a small wooden shack on a hillside overlooking the ocean. His spirit was rich happiness and wealthier than any soul I've ever met. This kid who is a trust fund baby. I worked at a horse farm and the mother died. Father isn't in the picture. He gets a year allowance from the trust, and in a few years he will get access to the entire estate. What's something that's painfully obvious but people will never admit? Some folks won't like you, and there's nothing you can do to change that. It's no use trying to push a friendship or relationship with someone who doesn't feel the same way about you. But very few people actually realize this, and they don't want to hear it either. They believe they'll be the exception who can work some magic trick. They won't. When another person is more successful or skilled in something than they are, a lot of things are out of your control. Your health may spontaneously go to shit. You might meet a covert narcissist who waits until after you're married or have a baby to reveal who they really are. You might find out after years your boss has been embezzling your pension. Try to be compassionate for people, especially yourself. Looks do actually matter a lot, in fact, when it comes to dating. You are the traffic. The world is a kinder place for beautiful people. People seem to have stopped talking about the Turing test for I once it stopped being hypothetical. Some might call it moving the goalposts, but we realized that it didn't actually prove anything. Language models can pass the Turing test today, but they are certainly not intelligent AI, just like every other general metric we've had in the past. That's because it turned out that fooling a human to think they are chatting to someone intelligent is a low bar as far as intelligence tests go. It's not exactly uncommon to horribly misjudge the complexity of software development tasks in the industry. The Turing test is only a test to see if an AI can talk like a human in conversation. A pretty poor test of intelligence, as there are plenty of people you may even encounter online who talk either like animals who were given a keyboard or crude I just spouting quotes without having any thought put into their sentences. I was able to pass this test way before it got to the level it is at now. The Turing test was never a good or valid test for true intelligence. What's it like getting cheated on? Much betrayal, the lying, the hurt they cause you, and knowing they hurt you and still doing it. It's like they break your heart 1,000 times at once, and they just don't care. I lost my ability to trust women. I once walked into my bedroom to see my ex being intimate with her childhood best friend. That sort of betrayal stays with you for a long time. Amicable breakups are heavenly by comparison. I wanted to die. I wanted to give up on absolutely everything. I simultaneously didn't give a shit about anything anymore and was extremely angry and resentful towards everyone and everything in my life. It's by far the worst thing I've ever gone through, and I've nearly died a few times and suffer from a painful chronic illness, but nothing else hurt nearly as much. After 17 years, I discovered 4 dudes she was cheating with. Everything I built for her is gone along with my kids. If Satan was real, it is her. It feels like being stabbed in the soul. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received that significantly changed your life? Grass is greener where you water it. Accept people for who they are, place them accordingly. Both my mother and brother are extremely toxic, and they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. This advice helps me put things in perspective as far as how to interact with them. Don't take everything personally. Sometimes people are having a bad day. Don't put it down, put it away. Don't stress about what you can't control. When I was a new driver, I had a faster car riding my bumper, and it was making me nervous, and I was starting to speed up. My dad said, "Don't let the other guy drive your car." I have since found that attitude to be applicable to a lot of things in life. On procrastination a year from now, you'll wish you started today. History gives you almost all answers to every question, because the decisions of yesterday have shaped today. What is considered the biggest deception ever successfully perpetrated in history? I acknowledge that I have read and agree to the above terms and conditions. During war, the British put faked documents on a corpse and dropped the body in the waters to be found by the Axis. It detailed an attack that never s the best part. The plans for D-Day were found in a similar manner. The actual plans. But they were ignored cause the Nazi leaders thought it was just another ruse. If you tell the truth, you won't be in trouble, yeah, Mom. I fell for that a few times and learned that lesson quickly. Your responses to this workplace survey will remain anonymous. Santa Claus, probably. In history, who knows? The biggest of my lifetime, Cheney orchestrating the forging of evidence of wounds in Iraq that Powell then presented to the UN. He was so guilty about it that he went on an apology tour when he knew he was dying. What's the best anime you ever watched? Two Wafis, One Tentacle. Full Metal Alchemist. Spirited Away. Am watching this movie annually and am still finding new details to this day. It's abridged. Shingeki no Kyojin needed to go back in time and manipulate my father into ruining his career so he can have me wreaking havoc here on Reddit. Cowboy Bebop is a classic, and I enjoyed Samurai Champloo made by the same creators. Recently, toss-up between Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen just for the craziness. Chainsaw Man has my favorite theme in any anime so far. Hunter x Hunter. Naruto. Demon Slayer for sure. Akira. King of the Hill. One Punch Man. Seriously, try watching it with a group of friends and see if you can make it through an episode without laughing or cheering. Death Note and Attack on Titan. One Piece. On my fourth watch.